M&A Advisor is happy to welcome back Karl, Senior Managing Director of Madison Street Capital. Madison Street Capital does what exactly?
We're a boutique investment bank. We do M&A advisory on the sell side and buy side.
And you were on a panel today for today's forum. Tell me what you spoke about, but I also want to know what you learned from
It was a panel about cross-border M&A, specifically Canada-US deals.
Yes.
Although I live in the US and I've been in Chicago for 16 years, I'm actually originally from Toronto. With the way the US dollar is versus the Canadian dollar and the economic conditions, it's a perfect environment for M&A, increasing M&A activity.
In any particular area, because when we think about investing in Canada, we obviously go to natural resources, but there's so much more there.
Correct. And I think, the resource story has been overplayed a little bit. Right now it's about the non-resources type industries, whether it be healthcare, financial services, consumer products. The great thing about Canada and the US, it's essentially very similar countries, and the products, the consumer types are very similar. So for a Canadian company to be sold into a US platform, it's so much easier versus other countries.
And there's already this naturally built-in goodwill between the two.
Exactly. Culturally, there's a lot of similarities, and just overall, I think we're a very friendly neighbor.
Yeah. Was there anything that you learned that surprised you from today's forum?
I was surprised about the definition of middle market. Some of the other panelists were from Canada, and when they talked about middle market, it was a lot larger than what we would say, or what I would say in the U.S.
Okay, can you give an example?
Yeah, for us, U.S. When I think middle market, I think less than 100 million revenue. EBITDA over 10 million. That's kind of generally what I would think. But in Canada, I think even though it's a small country, their middle market definitions is in the hundreds of millions for revenue.
Oh, well, that kind of awareness is essential for U.S. companies who want to do business there.
Right.
Can we talk a little bit about the political environment as we go into an election year and a new administration by the end of the year? How does that impact M&As? With our friends to the north.
Right. Well, in Canada, we have a new prime minister, with Justin Trudeau. So it's kind of like.
And did his election impact the M&A market at all?
Not as yet, but I think there are concerns about his approaches to certain tax issues. But overall, right now, I don't think so. I think right now we're safe from the Canada perspective.
Okay, and what about the U.S. perspective?
U.S. perspective could be scary, I think, or could be, for some people, they could be afraid, just depending on who ends up being elected. But I'm hoping that whoever does get elected has a much more realistic approach to addressing foreign policy, for example. Because I think if it was, say, Trump, for example, that could totally kill this whole M&A, cross-border M&A push.
But it's a wait and see for many companies and for a lot of individuals as well.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You've been such a friend to M&A Advisor. We really appreciate it. Karl, who is Senior Managing Director of Madison Street Capital. We always welcome your advice, and thank you for serving on the panel today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Take care.